Hello and welcome. Today we are doing a pick a card reading to see what is blocking your money manifestations and how to remove that block so the money you desire can flow to you. My name is Taylor Eaton and I am the author of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck. Today we're going to start our reading with this deck, and as always I will pull in other cards to flesh out the reading from other decks from this deck as well. As we get into the different piles. Now, this is a timeless reading, so anytime you find this video is exactly when you need to hear this message. I always use the cards that I pull to channel messages directly from source and the spirit teams, deities, and collectives that I work with. So this will be exactly what you need to hear right now. Now, let's start by picking our 3 cards for our piles. As a quick reminder, I do not currently offer any private readings, so please just be cautious and be aware of anyone in the comments pretending to be me or offering readings. Those people are not me. The only place that I do personalized readings is in my Wealth Vibe membership, and that is where my members have opportunities to get personalized card pulls from me. So this card wants to come up. Going to be our card number 3, I can tell. This one. And we have this card right here. If you are interested in joining the Wealth Vibe membership or getting a copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, the links for those are both in the description below. This month, actually, for the next 2 weeks, if you're watching this in November of 2023, the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck is actually on sale. This is the biggest sale we've actually ever run on it. So if you are interested in getting your own copy, definitely go check that out. So let's see what cards we have here for you. So pile number 1. You have the Alchemist card. So if you can see the card right here, here is the Alchemist card. And now we have our card number 2. This is the Breath of Abundance card. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus nicely on it for you. And pile number 3, your card is the Storyteller. So if you already feel called to a card or multiple cards, you can just use the timestamps below to jump to those. Otherwise, if you like to pick with crystals, I am going to place those now for you. All right, so pile number 1. This will be our crystal. This is Desert Rose Crystal. Pile number 2 is Fluorite. This is what your crystal looks like. And pile number 3 has Citrine. So go ahead if you like and pause the video, feel into which pile calls to you. If more than one pile calls to you, you absolutely are welcome to watch 2 or all of the different card pulls we do. If you are feeling pulled to more than one, it just means that there is guidance for you in each of those readings that you are meant to hear. So you, of course, pick whichever one you want. If you are having a hard time picking, then what I always recommend is, again, pausing this video, take a deep breath, and feel into which number comes into mind, 1, 2, or 3, and then go watch that reading. If no number comes to you, just go with whichever card calls to you or whichever crystal calls to you. Which one's the prettiest? Which one just is exciting or activating to you? And trust that inner guidance, trust that pull, and then I will see you in that reading. You can navigate to the readings at the timestamps. I will put them in the description below as well as pin them in a comment for you so you can easily find them and hop over to them, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1. You picked the Alchemist card and the Desert Rose Crystal. So let's dive into your reading to see what is blocking your money manifestations and how to remove that block so the money you want can actually flow to you. So we're going to start off here. I normally pull some more cards, but today the messages are coming in strong. So we're just going to start with this first card you picked because I already can sense what the big blocks are that are stopping that money from coming to you, and then we'll pull a couple more cards, get some more clarity, and then keep going from there. So what I'm seeing here is with the Alchemist card, what tends to be the case with the Alchemist card is this card is all about taking lessons you've learned and turning that into wisdom that can be used to call in more money. And so when we're looking at what we're looking at today, which is what's blocking you, what I'm seeing is the big message that's coming through is what are you not changing in your life, right? Like, where are you stuck? I'm getting the sense that a lot of you who picked this pile might be feeling like you're in a kind of period of stagnation or a period of feeling stuck and feeling like no matter what you do, you're hitting this block wall, this brick wall with money, like this block. And I feel like it's almost like it's the same old story every day, the same thing. And even when you're hoping things might change, you might get that raise or get that job or make another sale or whatever it is, or have more money come in somehow. It's just more of the same every day. And you're starting to get exhausted by it. That's what I'm picking up on. That's what Source is giving me here, is that you are getting tired. You're tired because things are staying the same. No matter what you do, you can't seem to move forward and get to the wealth or abundance that you desire. So what I want to communicate with this card is, and this is really what's coming through the strongest as soon as I dove into this reading for you, is that one of the biggest money blocks right now, the thing that Source is asking you to shift in order to reach the abundance you desire, is to look at two different things. One, what habits are keeping me stuck? What habits are keeping me stuck? What habits need to change? And these may be habits that are seemingly related to money. Maybe it's you need to start budgeting. Maybe you need to manage your money differently. But maybe it's habits that don't seem tied to money in some way. It might be what's coming through is like, do you need to get more sleep at night? Do you know you've been meaning to get to bed earlier and you just don't, and every night you stay up way later than you thought, and then you get less sleep the next day and you're not feeling as energized and inspired? Because when that happens, you're not going to be as able to show up for your money-making activities or see opportunities for money to come to you that are available to you because you're so tired out and you're not energetically fully there. Little things like that. Is it exercise? Is it, you meant to start networking more and you didn't, right? Like, what are the habits? And I have the sense that you already know what needs to shift. You're either intuitively or very consciously aware of at least one habit, maybe a couple that need to shift in your life, and you're not doing them, right? And so that's the first thing is Sources like, make that change those habits, right? And then the second thing that I'm seeing, one of the biggest blocks, this is the first block, right, is there's some habits in your way that need to change. And once you do that, the money can start flowing because you're going to be acting differently and therefore getting different results. The second block that is coming through, right, I feel like there's just these two big blocks for you right now, it's along similar lines, but it's a more internal kind of change that needs to happen, but is what wisdom do you have now that you didn't have a few months ago, a couple of years ago? What wisdom do you have now that you've just been kind of sitting on and not actually implementing? And again, this may be around money. Like maybe it's a budgeting system, maybe it's different skills you could monetize that you're just not monetizing. Or even I'm getting the sense of like, have you grown a lot and done a lot in your profession and your career, and you're just kind of not going after a promotion or a raise, you're not asking for it, you're not looking for other jobs that you know you're qualified for, right? Like, what has shifted, right? What knowledge do you have, what wisdom do you have, what experiences have you had in the last several months or years that could be leveraged to make you more money, and you're just not leveraging them? You're just kind of sitting on them, you're sleeping on them, right? So those are the big blocks. And the reason why these blocks are coming through with this card is because this card is all about, right, when we think about alchemy, this is the Alchemist, it's all about change. And so with change, this is the thing. If you want your financial reality change, and this is true for everyone, but I think this is the message that you need to hear right now, is that if you want your financial reality to change, meaning if you want more money to come to you, you have to change first. And people often don't like to hear that message because we like to think that we can just say, oh, I want to have $1 million. And if I just, keep trying and keep working hard, I'll make the money or I'll get there or whatever. And the fact is that if you want your reality to change, especially your financial reality, you have to change. You have to change. You have to change your habits. You have to change your wisdom. You have to change different things. This is often the hardest thing for people to do because change is scary. You have to go through ego deaths often, whether small or big, to change. And so this is not an easy thing, but the good news about these sorts of blocks is that they are entirely within your control. And I think that's what's really beautiful about this message of what's coming through. I know we're going so deep on just this card, but this was just coming through so strong for you. I swear we're going to pull some more cards in a moment here. But what I'm seeing here is that you're just resisting change in different ways. And it might not be conscious, but what's so empowering is that this is all within your control. That's what Source is telling me. That's what, some of my guides are coming through really strongly saying they have the power to change this. They just have to consciously choose it. So again, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like with everything, this is completely within your control. This isn't some external block that you have to hope will shift or you have to get lucky. That's not at all the case for you. You have all the power in this situation. Even if it doesn't feel like it, you do. And so you get to be in control of how you show up in the world, how you approach money, your habits, the way you progress in your career, what you go after, what you pursue. You are in control of all of that. And when you own that and claim that and start acting accordingly, the money you desire is going to show up. Like that's what's coming through. So I feel like that on its own could be a reading, but we're going to go deeper. I can tell there's more messages for you. I'm going to pull some more cards now for you. But just to sum up, these are the big blocks, right? The block is you're resisting change in some way. And so when you are willing to alchemize your current habits into habits that are more aligned with your wealthiest self, or when you are able to alchemize your knowledge and skills that you've accumulated recently into more money, or take action on those things to bring in more money, that's the block that needs to be moved through for money to come into you. So we are going to pull some more cards for you and get some more clarity on exactly how you can go about doing this, more tips, more messages that are coming through for you about these blocks. So, all right, what does pile need to hear? Pile number 1, what do you need to hear? Oh, we have 2 more. I was only going to pull 2, but we'll do your 3. Okay. All right, so let's see what we have here for your cards. We have the receiving mode. I laugh because as I'm recording this is a challenge we are doing inside of my Wealth5 membership to help my members in there get into the receiving mode more. But what this card is telling me for you is that in order for you to be able to openly receive and be able to fully receive the abundance that is coming to you, you have to be able to shift your habits. And I'm seeing the habit of specifically relaxation, of taking more time. I'm getting the message again that more balance, right? Remember at the beginning when I said, do you need to go to bed earlier? Do you need more sleep, right? That may or may not be true for you, but just in that example, it's like you need more rest. And I know that when you're trying to get to the money you desire, I know it can be so hard. It can feel like I need to work harder if the money's not showing up. I need to work more right now to get to it. But that's absolutely not true. That's just a common story and conditioning of our society, which is all about work, hard work will get you where you want. But how often have you worked hard and not seen the money you desire come in? I think it's, in my experience of doing this work for 5 years now, I can tell you this is like 90% or more people really struggle with this story of I have to work so hard, and if the money's not coming in, I need to work harder, and time is money. So anytime that I'm not working, I'm missing out on the opportunity to make money. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. And I'm not even speaking on energetics here, which is absolutely true. The energy of receiving money is a very relaxed, feminine, receptive energy, and it's not this hustling action energy. But even just when you think about it logically, if you relax and you take time to have more balance in your life, you make space for things to come into you because you are no longer burning yourself out. You're no longer exhausted. You're able to show up for your work or your whatever you do to pull in money with more energy and as the best version of you. And that's going to result in those promotions, those pay raises, those sales, those client wins, right? So really it's just, this is the block, right, is looking for where are you not having balance? Where are you overworking, right? That to me feels like maybe the habit that really needs to change for you to get to where you want to go is stop overworking yourself. Stop pushing yourself so hard thinking that that's the only way that money is going to come to you. It's actually probably blocking the money you desire from coming to you. I have a whole activation on this card specifically. I will link it in a card above right now so that you can go check that out. And I also have a whole playlist actually of videos on the receiving mode that you can check out and get some resources for that there. So I will link that playlist for you is what I'll do, is the whole playlist for all of my receiving mode videos. There's at least like 4 or 6 videos in there. If you feel like, yeah, I am overworking and I really can't get myself to slow down and have that balance, I have those resources for you here on my channel. So I'll link those for you. And again, this is so much of what we're doing inside the Wealth by membership. So if you want to come join us for things like this to help shift into that receiving energy, the link is in the description below. Okay, our next card we pulled was the Champion card. This one's going to go here. Okay, so this is so beautiful because what I'm picking up here with the Champion card is the Champion card is all about money for the highest good, right? And what I am finding is that with this reading is that for you to get to the money you want, you're going to have to really lock in this belief that the more that you rest, the more that you have balance in your life and you're not overworking and over pushing yourself in some ways, the more that you're really going to understand that that is for the highest good, right? Like so often we have this guilt around taking it easy or slow, and we feel like we can't just take it easy if we haven't already achieved what we want. We treat rest or enjoyment as a reward instead of an important part of the formula that's just as important as the work part. So what's coming through is for you to really lean into this understanding that when you rest, when you have more balance in your life, you will not only open up to receive and be able to move through this block and these habits that are keeping you stuck, but you're going to be doing it for the highest good. And you really have to lock in that belief, that understanding of when you relax, it is for the highest good. It's not selfish to relax. That's what you need to know so much right now. It is not selfish for you to relax, and you don't have to earn the right to relax. You get to have it. And when you lean into that belief, when you truly understand you are worthy of relaxation and balance and joy in your life, and that it's part of the equation, it'll help you get to where you want to go, but it's not just for you. It also makes you the best version of you, and then you show up for others in your life with the most positive energy. When you lock that in, you understand that when you rest and have balance in your life, especially before the money shows up, it's in service of the highest good of all, right? So the people around you, your friends, your family, your loved ones, your kids, your partner, whoever it is, your parents, they're going to benefit so much from you taking time for yourself, taking time to have more balance, not burning the end of both candles, right? Or burning both ends of the candle. You really have to understand that the more that you allow yourself to rest, the more balance you'll have. That is for the highest good of everyone around you. And then of course, then when the money comes in, you all get to benefit, right? So really such strong messages of more relaxation into your life, more trusting that you're supported, that it gets to come, more understanding that you're worthy of relaxation, and that when you relax, it's for the highest good of all. And it also unlocks the money you desire when you have more of that balance. All right, the other card I pulled for you is the Conduit card. So the Conduit card, what this card tells me is that you are not flowing with your money. You're not being a conduit for your money, because the truth is money, it's a representation of a certain frequency of energy, and it wants to flow. Energy wants to flow, money wants to flow. So I'm getting the sense that you are either right now in a period, because you felt so stuck and not getting where you want with money, you are either overspending or underspending. And it's interesting because when we talk about money, people don't ever think there's like you can underspend, but there's this energetic block that happens when we refuse to spend any money. We're just hoarding it and holding on to it. It's like money wants to flow, so it's not going to come to you if you never spend it, right? And again, remember, money can be spent in the highest good of all, or it can be saved for the highest good of all, right? So I feel like there are people in this reading who some of you are on the end of the spectrum where you're overspending. Some of you are on the spectrum where you're underspending. That you need to determine where you fall on that spectrum. But looking at how do you flow more with money, right? And when you start to flow more with money, right, you're going to be able to, and this is the habit we're talking about, is how is the money flowing for you? How do you flow with money? What habits are you in of overspending or underspending, of hoarding or overly just having money go out? That needs to shift, right? When you shift that habit, then this is one of the habits that needs to be shifted in order for the money to come to you. This can be really scary, admittedly, to shift the way that you manage your money. And again, always do what is right for you in your personal situation, because I'm not a financial advisor, right? But this is just that sign to like go revisit how you manage and spend and save your money. Do you need more spending, more saving? And when I say do you need, right, it's yes, from a logical perspective, a responsible perspective, but also from the perspective of what feels aligned to you, what feels intuitively correct to you as well. So when you can get into this space of being a conduit for money, of seeing yourself as a conduit for money, right? Someone who is a steward for money, someone who, allows money, to come to them and then, spend it where it needs to be spent or save it when it needs to be saved for the highest good, right? When you can be that version and you don't have this attachment or fear or scarcity around money, or this belief you can't hold it, so you better just spend it before it all gets taken away, right? Like when you can instead start to heal those beliefs and shift into looking at yourself as a conduit for money, then the money is going to flow so much more easily, and you're also just going to feel so much better. I promise. Like when I have made that shift a while back into being like, I need to have more money, I need to make more money, I need all this. And instead I was like, I'm just going to be a conduit for money, and I'm going to allow money to come to me and be open to it by having some balance and being able to receive. And then I'm going to spend it for the highest good of all, right? Or save it when that's what benefits others, because sometimes me having more money allows me to do what I'm here to do and help other people, right? Make these sorts of videos and then help other people in that way, right? Because saving it then supports my lifestyle and all that, right? So when I made this shift, this was such a pivotal point in my money journey, right? So this is something that it can take time, and it's a deep transformation. It's something you often have to keep coming back to, but just playing with this perspective shift of how can I be more of a conduit for money? How can I be a conduit for money? How can I allow it to flow to me and through me to wherever it most needs to or wants to go for the highest good of all? And see how that might shift the way your money flows in your life, the way you're spending or saving accordingly. So that's, I'm feeling like this is the habit over here, this more, feminine energy habit that needs to be shifted, of relaxing and having more balance. And also this a little bit more masculine energy, honestly, of shifting the way that you play with your money, the way that you decide and direct where your money goes. That needs to change, and that feels like a more strategic change. This feels more like an energetic change to me. So you kind of have both ends of the spectrum here. Now I'm going to pull one more card for you from the Wealthy Woman Oracle, and we'll bring some other decks in as well. All right, what do we have? What else? What's our other message for pile one with how they can eliminate these blocks? Yep, it's that one. Ooh, we have the Artisan card. Okay. So with the Artisan card, this one, so many messages coming through for you right now. This is the perfect card for you right now with what we were just talking about with the conduit. And the reason for this is because the artisan, the artisan is someone who, she's a creative. She is someone who uses the tools at her disposal to create what she desires in her life. And this card and the message that's coming through the loudest for you, because so many came through and they all kind of say the same thing, but it's that you have to have a level of detachment around your money. And this doesn't mean you don't care about money. This does not mean that you are reckless with it. It means that you are not attaching your worth or your metric for success or your sense of value or anything like that to how much money you do or do not have. And this is something so many of us do, but I'm seeing that in order for you to be a conduit, to allow your money to flow and to open that energetic flow of money, you're going to have to find some level of detachment with money. This might mean that you get more comfortable with having money go out and trusting that it'll come back and trusting that you have the ability to make more. This may be more of a detachment around around your self-worth around money, or, like if you think like, oh, I only make X amount of money a year and therefore I'm falling short in life. And at this point in my life, I should be making way more than that. Or I thought I'd be making X amount by now and I haven't. And I'm a failure for that. You have to let that go, right? You have to understand this is so important. This again is for everyone, but so much so what you need to hear right now, pile one, is that money is not a metric for success. And our society does us a massive disservice by telling us that it is how we measure our success. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. Money is not a measure of how valuable you are, how skilled you are, how loved you are. It is not a measure of any of those things. But we make it that way in our minds because that's the society we live in. That's what society has told us, is that our worth is measured by how much money we have. And we kind of know that this isn't true, but there's all these sneaky stories beneath the surface that tell us otherwise. And really what I see here is that the moment that you can start, this honestly feels like the key to the puzzle for the rest of this for you. The moment you can start releasing any attachment you have to money and seeing it more as a tool, and not a metric of any sort of success or worth, the moment you can do that, the moment you're going to become a conduit for money, which is going to allow you to relax more and have more balance, because you know your worth is not defined by how hard you work, and that doesn't even generate the money you desire, and that balance is required. You're going to rest more, and then that is going to trickle out to be for the benefit of the highest good. That feels to me like the complete picture of what your block is right now around money. Is it honestly, it's this domino effect across the board here. So that's really, really cool to see with this reading. I know this is easier said than done, right? It is so hard because we grow up our whole lives for decades thinking that the money somehow reflects who we are in some way. And what Source really wants you to know right now is that you are so much more than the money you do or do not have. You are so much more than that. And when you see that, more money will come in. But as long as you keep this belief of, I am not successful until I have X amount of money, or I am not successful until I have X, title at my job, or I am not successful or good enough or driven enough or whatever enough until I have X amount of money. As soon as you let that go, the money gets to flow in. That's the block, right? That's the big block that you're up against right now. And again, like I said earlier with the Alchemist card, that's what needs to change. She's all about change. It's really, yes, sometimes it's an external change. It trickles out into an external change when you change this belief of money isn't a reflection of me in any way. When you really let that go, of course, it does create different, you handle your money differently. It shows outwardly, you change your habits, but it's such an internal game. And I've said this before, but money really almost all of the time is such an internal game, because the way we manage our money, the way we flow with it, is so dictated by the stories we have, subconscious and conscious stories, around what money means for us or what we have to do to get it or anything like that. And so money really is an inside game, and that's what most people don't realize, because money is such an external thing, but it's an external representation of what's happening within us energetically, mentally, and also therefore our actions as well. So truly the message for you, this is so empowering, Pile One. I'm so excited for you, because I feel like once you hear this, things will start to shift and click. And if you need support in that, again, my Wealthify membership, this is the kind of work we do in there with our different challenges and our different tools. And it's just what I do on this channel here too. But really, when you, all you have to do is come back home to yourself, to your full worth, to your full power. And when you do that, I just feel the floodgates are going to open for you for abundance. And that's so exciting, because this is all within your control. Like I said, this does not involve other people. This does not involve external circumstances. This is not on any sort of timeline either. That's the message that's coming through for you. You can choose to change this at any time, but until you choose to change this, you'll stay stuck, right? So exciting. I'm going to bring in a couple more cards just to round out this reading for you, just from another deck, because I feel pulled to call from another deck. But honestly, I feel like, I feel like a relief. Does this feel like a relief to you? Pile One, let me know in the comments. I feel like it's like an exhale, that's what's keeping me stuck. Okay, I can change that. I can work on that. And honestly, the way you can go about that, journaling, inner child healing, affirmations, therapy, right? Whatever you need to do, but it's like you can use any tools that you need to see money as a tool, to detach your worth or your earthly attachments to money. So I'm so excited for you. This is so exciting. Oh my gosh, I can just feel the energy. It's like this is such a surge of so many blessings, so much abundance is coming to you as soon as you ship this. All right, we're gonna pull a couple more cards for you. This is from the Love Yourself, Love Who You Are deck, which is a newer deck of mine that I am just obsessed with right now. And we'll just see any last little signs or tips or guidance that we have for you. So we have Unfold Your Own Myth card. Oh my gosh, beautiful. So this really, it's so perfect. So the Unfold Your Own Myth card. This card is really, it's all about not buying into other people's stories. And how perfect with what we just talked about. With honestly, this for me, the guidance that's coming through is don't buy into society's stories. Don't let any part of society, whether it was your teachers or your parents or anyone else, don't let anyone else tell you that your worth is determined by money, or that you aren't successful until you've reached some sort of position in your company, or till you've reached some sort of milestone with your savings, or you've bought a house or whatever it is. Don't let anyone tell you that. You are the creator of your reality, of your destiny, of your financial reality, of your life. You get to unfold your own myth. You get to tell your own stories. How beautiful, right? Like, and this is so true. This is something I say all the time. It's like you're the creator of your reality. And when you own that power, you become unstoppable, and all of the abundance of the universe opens up to you. So that's what a beautiful message for you. I hope you take that to heart. I hope you really take some time after this reading to sit with, especially these messages over here on the side of the board. I feel like are just so needed for you right now. You really need to take the reins back, right? Take the reins of your life, of your destiny into your own hands. Don't allow anything, anyone, or any part of society has ever told you you have to do or be or have in order to be considered successful or good enough or worthy or lovable or any of that. None of that is true. You are part of the divine. You are enough as you are right now for all that you desire. You just have to choose to see that and to tell that story. I know I'm going on a little bit like I'm getting teary. I feel like this might be a message that I need to hear on a deeper level too. But it's, oh my gosh, I'm getting so much love coming through for you right now from source, from your guides. There's so much love, and they're just waiting. They're waiting for you to tell your own story, to determine what is true for you and what isn't, and to flow with that. And the more that you do that, everything else unlocks. You detach from money, you become a conduit. You change those habits, you start resting more, you start finding more balance, more joy in life, you start finding more just ease and receptivity, you start serving the highest good, living out truly your soul's purpose, what you're here to do. Oh my God, pile one. This is amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's pull another card or two for you before we wrap up this reading. All right, what cards want to come out for you? Oh, hello. So here we have the Own Your Star card. Oh my gosh. This is the most synchronistic reading. I don't know, I say that about all my readings, but this truly, this all is coming together so lovely. So the message that's coming through is so much about owning your worth. It's just more of the same. I feel like Source is just trying to kind of almost beat you over the head with this message of just owning your worth, owning your power, owning your value, owning your worthiness to relax, owning your worthiness to just be enough and own your enoughness right now in this moment and not need to become anything else or achieve anything else in order to get to where you want. And then I don't typically refer to the guidebook that often when I'm reading these readings, but I felt the pull to, and I just have to share with you what is in the guidebook for this card. I'm reading from it now, but it says, "Not all stars belong to the sky. Just look at the starfish and you. One of a kind, brilliant, luminous. Never let anyone dull your shine. Endeavor to know your value, not based on what service you provide or how you can be pleasing, pretty, or productive. Rather, know your worth based on the radiant star stuff coursing through your veins. Stand in your shine. Be willing to lose anything that requires you to lose a part of yourself." Oh my gosh. Pile one. Is the message getting through yet? Let me know in the comments. Is the message getting through? do you understand how naturally deserving and worthy you are of the abundance you desire? Not only naturally worthy or deserving, but also capable of calling in the money you desire. Is that landing for you yet? Do you get it? Do you understand that you are a spark of the universe, of the divine, of God, whatever you want to call it? You have a spark of that within you. You are infinitely powerful. You are infinitely magical. You are infinitely special and wonderful. There's nothing you need to do or achieve outside of yourself to receive the money you desire. You just have to be willing to let go of the stories and the attachments that tell you that you do. All right, my loves, one more card for you. It is. We have the Manifest Your Magic card. Oh my gosh. We also have the rabbit, right, which is often, you're going after abundance, you're chasing it, you are heading toward abundance and prosperity in your life. I get the sense with this card that as you unlock all of this, this honestly is like the kind of final key that brings us full circle to this transformation that you need to undergo, these changes you need to make within yourself and without yourself to get to the money you desire, to become unblocked, to remove these blocks. I'm getting the sense that it's going to happen quickly for you when you truly lock in these messages of self-worth, self-value, of detachment around money, detaching your metric for success from money. As soon as you start to truly lock that in and understand it, it's going to happen quickly for you. I do sense that there's going to be some strategic moves you're going to make. I honestly, again, I keep coming back to, you're either going to switch jobs or get a promotion or maybe pivot in your business or introduce a new offer or product in your business or something like that. There's going to be some strategic moves you make as you start to incorporate and really integrate these messages here for you and dissolve this block. You're going to find yourself needing to make some strategic changes in your life. I'm getting, again, in your professional or, really in your professional life and career. I feel like you're going to need to make some changes. If you don't have a job, then it's going to be some changes in the way your life is structured. If you are, for example, like a stay-at-home parent, maybe hiring some help or changing your schedule around. Just, again, sometimes even if you're not the one making the money, doing that can allow the money to flow through the person who is in your life. So I just see so much in terms of strategy. It's going to happen quickly, and you're going to move quickly, and you're going to move confidently with these messages of really integrating your self-worth and dropping those stories that tell you that you have to be or do or have something in order to be successful or good enough or worthy of anything you desire. And when you start taking these strategic moves from this more soul-aligned, self-assured, confident place, not only are these changes going to happen quickly, but they're going to be monumental changes, meaning I see you unlocking like a huge amount of more money. It's not just like, oh, I make another $2,000 a year, which is not insignificant, don't get me wrong. I see it being to the order of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars for you when you start to make this shift, like in annual income, in windfalls of money, right? So really powerful, exciting things for you, pile one. Really exciting. I can't wait. Let me know how this resonates with you in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, be sure to subscribe to my channel for future card readings, meditations, and other spiritual tips and tools for manifesting money. If you want to grab your own copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, the link for that is in the description below this video. And if you grab your copy before the end of November, you will be able to get a huge discount on it. And of course, if you feel like you need support in moving through these, because this is big work, I'm not gonna lie, it's big work, and you will find new depths of it, new layers to heal and shed around your attachments to money and your sense of self-worth in relation to money and things like that. That's ongoing work. I still do find new layers of that within myself to unearth at each new level I hit of income and success. So if you feel like you want support in that sort of stuff and really in being able to embody the wealthiest version of you in order to call that money to you, come join me inside the Wealth Vibe membership. I would love to get to connect with you in there. The link for that is also below. Otherwise, I am wishing you massive prosperity and abundance, and I will see you all very soon. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. You picked the Breath of Abundance card and the fluorite crystal. So let's dive into your reading to see what is blocking your money manifestations and how to remove that block. So right off the bat, I'm already seeing what the big block is that's coming through for you around your money. And that is, with this Breath of Abundance card, the message that's coming through so strong is that you are moving too quickly. And when I say that, that can sound counterintuitive because often when we think about money, we're like, I just want to get there as fast as I can, and I need to work hard and make all the things happen. And the better I can get the money, or the faster I can get the money, the better. But the reality is that you are trying to move so quickly to where you want to be that you are missing out on opportunities for abundance. Like the message that's coming through from Source for you right now is that the biggest block you have at the moment is that you are making things so much harder than they need to be with manifesting the money you desire into your life. So what I'm getting is that there is so much abundance available to you, like so much, pile 2. I'm getting this like, I can feel there is way more money than you think available to you right now. And the universe is just kind of like trying to, I get this feeling, this image of it, like trying to shove it in any crack it can into your life to get to you, but you are moving so fast that you're not allowing the money to catch up with you. You're not allowing time for things to work out. I'm getting the message here that you are quite possibly moving so quickly and trying things that you maybe try one thing, and then when the money doesn't show up immediately or within a day or a week, you're on to the next thing. You're like, that didn't work. Let's go to the next thing. And what you need to understand is that when you move so quickly, it may feel productive in the moment, but it's actually a form of self-sabotage around money, and it can block your money manifestations because you're moving so quickly. You're not slowing down. You're not seeing the opportunities that are coming to you. You're not allowing things the chance to work out. So that's the first thing that I'm seeing here is this needing to really take a breath, right? Breath of abundance. Take a breath, slow down, pause, allow things to work out before you write them off. Give things the chance to go the way you want them to. Allow money to catch up with you. And also allow yourself to just spot opportunities for money that maybe you aren't seeing or you aren't receptive to because you're moving so quickly in the hurry to get to where you want to go, to hit that financial milestone or to get that job or to climb the corporate ladder or whatever it is. So that's kind of the big thing. We're going to pull so many more cards for this reading for you to get more clarity on this block, see if any others come up, but especially how to move through this block. That's the big thing that I want to make sure you take away from this reading is what can you do, what can you focus on or shift or work on to really make sure that you're able to slow down and have the money you desire come to you, but we don't want to overdo it, right? Where we just stop. Because I do get the sense that you have this really beautiful momentum going right now. Like you're very driven is what I'm getting. You're very motivated. You are making progress. You're taking action. You're showing up. And I think this is maybe what's maybe the most frustrating for you right now, pile 2, is that you're showing up and taking action towards your desires. And you feel like you're doing all the right things and still not getting there. Let me know if that resonates in the comments. Let me know if this is like, you're like, yes, this is exactly what's happening. And I'm already getting the message that if this isn't resonating with you, this might not be the pile for you. Go back to the beginning and pick again. If you're like, nope, I have zero momentum. I am doing nothing. This is not my block. Just check in and see if you want to pick again, because I'm getting that this is really the main block for those of you in pile 2 who are meant to hear this guidance, is that you really want to make sure that as much as it can feel defeating to be doing all the things and doing all the things that you were told to do or all the things you thought would get you to where you want to go, and then they're not panning out, and especially around money, as difficult and frustrating as that can be, it's so important for you to understand that you're not doing anything wrong. You're not flawed. You're not falling short. You yourself are not enough. But you're just moving too fast. You're not allowing things time to work out. You're not allowing your manifestations time to catch up with you before you immediately go, oh, they're not working, and then you push them away. So really make sure that you're not getting discouraged, right? I'm sensing a lot of discouragement right now, a lot of frustration. So the message here with this card is slow down, take a deep breath, everything's okay. Everything's working out for you. The abundance you desire is available to you and trying to come to you. And you're just making it so much harder than it needs to be. It can be so simple, and it can come so much more easily. And you are taking all the right actions. So this is a great message that's coming through. You are taking all the right actions, but you just have to give them a chance to work out and trust that it's all working out in the divine timing for you and things are working out for you. But I'm not getting the sense that you need to be doing anything differently in terms of your actions, your strategies, your kind of work you're doing, the career path you're on. Nothing like that is coming through. It's really more about you're just moving way too fast to the point where it's not helpful. We always want to have that balance between slowing down and speeding up. And there's seasons for both in life, and especially around money. But right now, this to me is the sense that you just need to slow down just a little bit. Just do like 10 to 30% less, right? Or just reduce your speed or the rate you're going at by like 10 to 30%. And I do apologize if I sound a little congested, still getting over a cold. This is toddler mom life, right? Those of you who have children or work with children know you are sick every other week with a new cold. All right, so I feel like we already have a pretty good, clear image and clear direction here of what your big block is. Let's pull some more cards to get some more clarity for you around maybe some more info on this block, any others, and what we can do to move through it a little bit more effortlessly. All right, what does pile 2 need to hear for this block? 1. This one wants to come out. Ooh. This right here. All right, let's see your cards here. So we have the healer card here, which makes complete sense with what we were just talking about. So the healer card, my loves, is all about healing through love. So what's coming through here is really making sure that in order as you slow down, there might be some healing that needs to happen on your part. So you might find, whether this is a limiting belief or a past experience or something like that, but I'm getting the sense that you will probably need to do some inner work a little bit to slow down. I don't get the sense that it's going to be really heavy or really difficult work. I think there just might be some stories or some things in your past that have you believing that you can't have the money you desire if you relax or if you take a step back, or if, there's no time to wait and there's no time to wait for things to see if they work out. You have to find the answer right now, like yesterday. And this might be something where you saw something from your family in your past, whoever raised you. You might have seen this yourself where if you maybe in the past waited on something and then that backfired on you or it didn't go well. I'm getting the sense that you need to heal some sort of story or some sort of past event by just giving yourself some love. I feel like you maybe blame yourself for things is what's coming through, that you're maybe blaming yourself for where you are now financially, or the fact that you aren't further along, that there's also maybe some level of guilt or some level of like, I messed up in the past by not moving fast enough, so now I can only ever move fast, and slowing down is dangerous or not safe, especially when it comes to making money or hitting my financial goals. So maybe you missed a card payment or a bill in the past and that messed up your credit, and so now you're like, I can't ever rest on my laurels. I have to just run forward and try to get more and more money. This is what needs to be healed in order for you to kind of start to clear this block. Again, I don't get the sense that it's necessarily a really deep belief and that you're going to have to spend months and months shifting this. Honestly, this feels to me like this could be a pretty quick kind of shift or something that can be healed relatively quickly if you get clear on it, right? So it's just that you're going to need to, again, slow down, get clear on what needs to be healed in order to let you to continue to slow down, right? Remind yourself, this is something that is so important that I tell people all the time, remind yourself that just because something happened a certain way once in the past doesn't, or even multiple times in the past, doesn't mean that that's how it has to continue happening in the future. Things get to be different, especially if you're different. If you show up differently and with a different energy and different thoughts and different actions, then things get to play out. So the past doesn't always have to repeat itself, and it doesn't have to happen and play out in the same exact way. So if you have old stories and old things that happen in your life that tell you it's not safe to slow down, it's not safe to take a break, it's not safe to allow things the time to work out and to trust that I will be supported, trust that the money will come in, or trust that I'll find the right path and trust that I'll figure things out. If you have old stories that lead to that, then that's really what needs to be shifted here. That seems to be kind of just more clarity on what that block is for you. Just move these up here. I'm going to make a little more space for us. Okay, so let's grab your next card here. I'll go over this way. All right, here we have Prosperous Overflow card. Oh my goodness. This is such a beautiful card. So this Prosperous Overflow card, when I channeled the guidance for this card that's in the guidebook description, it was so funny because I had this image of a wave and this feeling of like a wave, right? Overflow. And what this card really gets at is that there is a wave of abundance coming to you. It's gaining momentum. And like I said earlier, it's probably trying to catch up with you. And it's coming towards you swiftly, but you have to be ready to receive it. You have to ready yourself to receive it. And the way that you ready yourself to receive it is by making a plan for it, by knowing it's creating a plan and knowing when this money comes in that I desire, this is exactly what I'm going to do with it. So this is something that honestly might help you to slow down and let the money come up, is instead of always taking action toward it, take some time away from all the things you're trying to do to make the money happen. Let them work out. Let the things you've done catch up and have a chance to actually perform. And then in that time when you're taking that rest, when you're taking just a step back just for a little bit, even if it's just a few minutes a day, right? I'm not saying stop going to work or stop doing things. I'm just saying as you pull back just a little bit, 10 to 30% of your energy, and you're forcing energy, right? It's pull that back just a little bit. And what you're going to see happen is you'll naturally start to be like, I need to be ready for this money, right? You might be realizing that I'm not actually ready for the money because I don't know what I'd actually do with it when it comes in. And it's interesting because I see this so much after doing this kind of work and working with people with their money manifestations and mindset and all of that for over 5 years now. What I have seen is so common is that so many people want huge amounts of money or just more money than they have now, and they don't actually know what they'll do with it when it shows up. We have vague ideas, right? We think, oh, I will take a trip, or I will pay off that credit line, or I will buy a house or pay off my car, or whatever it is. We have these ideas of what we think we'll do with it, but if you're trying to manifest, for example, let's say you're trying to manifest $100,000 a year coming into your life, like an income or a steady stream of money, what would you do with that money monthly? What would you do if you got a lump sum? What would you do if it came in month to month, whatever you're manifesting? Get clear on that. How much goes to your mortgage payment or your rent? How much goes to your car payment? Or do you just want to pay off the car? Or how much goes to, traveling or buying different, material goods? Make a plan for it. And what's going to happen is not only as you're making a plan, you're kind of slowing down from moving too fast for the money to catch up with you, but you're preparing yourself to be ready to welcome it in. And you're also normalizing the idea of having this much money. The more you live in that mind, kind of that mental realm of here's what's coming in, here's what I desire, and you just keep familiarizing yourself with that, it's going to feel really natural as the money starts to come in more and more, and you won't block it and push it away because you know exactly what you're doing with this money. You're ready to handle it. You're ready to hold it. And that's a piece of money manifestation and just money management in general that people really struggle with, is they're not actually ready. They haven't done the mental inner work and the kind of strategic work of planning of how am I going to hold this money? What am I going to do with it? This can be fun. This isn't like some dry budgeting that I'm asking you to do, though if that works for you, great. But just get a plan in place. Just get a plan in place of where's the money going to go when it all comes in? What am I going to do with it? Is it going into savings? Is it going into paying things off? Is it buying something? What am I doing with it? And of course, when the money comes in, you can adjust your plan, but have a plan so that you're ready for it. And have a plan so that it feels easy. And it feels like, of course, the money's going to come in. And the more you revisit this plan and you spend time each day with just, once you have the plan, daydream about it and how good it'll feel once you have it, you're going to be so receptive and easily able to receive the money you desire. So far, the big messaging here is you need to slow down a little bit. In order to slow down, you're probably going to have to heal some stories that tell you can't slow down. And once you do that, you're also going to then, as you're slowing down, in that time you spend slowing down, prepare yourself for the abundance that's coming to you, because it's coming. Pile 2. I see such like a windfall of money coming to you. I see so much abundance just flooding in as soon as you just give it a moment to catch up with you and you ready yourself to receive it. And this is something, honestly, that is so easy to gloss over, this preparing yourself to be ready to hold the abundance you desire and to be able to receive it in. So many people gloss over this. Please do not gloss over it. The message that's coming through so strongly right now from my spirit team is they need to be ready. You need to be mentally and energetically ready for the money. And this isn't like in a scary way. It's just in a, know what you're going to do with it. Normalize this idea of having this much money in your life, so that when it does come, it doesn't overwhelm you. You don't freak out. You don't self-sabotage. We often think that once we have all the money we desire, all our problems will be solved. And of course, everything will be great. And yes, having money is an amazing tool. That's why I love working with people and stuff like this and doing these sorts of readings. But people don't understand and they don't realize that it is so easy to kind of subconsciously freak out when we get more money and then lose it all and self-sabotage. And then that opens up a whole nother can of worms and things to heal. And it's this kind of vicious cycle. So really, I see that so much is coming to you. And again, this doesn't feel like, nothing I'm getting here feels like really heavy for you. Nothing feels like, oh, you're going to have to do this intense shadow work to heal. You're going to have to do so much planning, so much energetic up-leveling. None of that. I'm getting like, these are all pretty minor shifts in the grand scheme of things. It's just like spend an afternoon journaling or just reflecting on why do I feel like I have to move so fast, right? And this is kind of like, just take a day or two to daydream about what are you going to do with all the money you desire, and then just kind of revisit that and remind yourself of that and get excited about that each day. That's really all that needs to happen. I'm feeling like so much abundance is coming to you, pile 2, but it's right on the precipice, and you just got to make these little tweaks to let it flow into you. All right, we have our next card here. We have the Light Weaver card here. So with the Light Weaver card, this card is really, it really indicates that your finances are about to multiply. So no surprise for you, because I've already been telling you this whole reading that so much abundance is coming to you. But with the Light Weaver card, the way that your money multiplies is by when you turn your focus to helping others. And what I'm getting with this card, with this pairing, is that you want to make sure that you're looking at any old stories that tell you that you have to only be looking out for yourself. You have to be pushing so hard and just looking out for number one, and it's not safe to slow down around money because other people will take advantage of you or anything like that. And you also might need to heal some past stories around maybe there were times you helped people to, with your money or to make more money, and they kind of turned around and stabbed you in the back or backfired on you. Again, what I was saying before, heal those stories. Know that that's not how it has to play out again in the future. This card actually came up when we were doing our monthly November card reading. So if you did the November pick a card reading this month, and I know this is a timeless reading, so some of you might not have seen that, which is totally fine. But I'm curious, for those of you who did pick this, I think this was our pile 3 from our November pick a card reading. If you did pick that and I feel like a similar message came through there, I'm curious if you picked this pile as well this time. Let me know in the comments if that did happen, because that just really might be reinforcing to you that this is the message you need to hear. This is what needs to be addressed, right? So really make sure just that you take that time to look on, and this is honestly what I said when you were kind of like doing your journaling or introspection work, and just looking at what are those stories that say that I can't slow down. Look at especially how they relate to other people. That's the big thing I'm seeing here, is there's probably some stories that I can't slow down because someone else will beat me to the punch. Like they'll get that job, or they'll beat me to that raise or that promotion. Or if you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're like, oh, well, I have too much competition in my industry and my niche, and I got to move at the same pace. I got to keep up with them. It's like, no, love, what's coming through is you are going to move at your own pace. You are going to have so much abundance that's going to happen on your schedule. Nothing anyone else is doing can take away from that or block you from it. And even if it seems like someone else got that job you're looking for, it's just a redirect from the universe to something bigger and better and more aligned with what you actually want. So really trusting that you get to move at your own pace, and that it's safe to have friendships, relationships, connections with people that in your industry, in what you do, and seeing people as companions or peers rather than competition. So really healing the story of, it's not safe to move so quickly, or it's not safe to move so slowly because I'm going to, these people are going to get the piece of the pie that I want, or what. Let all that go. That's all BS. That's not true. That's not how the universe works. The universe is naturally inclined toward abundance. That's just what it is. It's the universe. Life is always expanding, always growing, always reaching into new levels of abundance. And you are part of this universe, part of this world. You are always doing the same. That is the natural energy flow. But we all do it on our own schedule, our own timeline. And nothing anyone does can take that away from us, especially when you're in your power. So really healing any of those stories, and then finding, maybe also opening yourself up in the next few weeks. I'm getting to helping other people, right? Maybe even as you're slowing down, you do a little bit of charity work, you give back to your community, or just help someone that you know with something, and spending a little bit more time doing that. There's this really beautiful energy that when we give, what we give comes back to us, and it comes back tenfold. And that's really a lot of what this card is telling us. So some things to heal there, some things to open yourself up to, in the time that you're slowing down, to allow you to slow down, and in the time you're slowing down, right? So really what I'm getting is, so far, this really beautiful energy coming through for you, pile 2. This really beautiful energy around, as you're moving through this block, you're going to soften a little bit. That's what I'm getting, is that right now you've kind of hardened in your financial stories, in your relationship with money. You've kind of hardened, maybe just in your life in general. And you've just put walls up, and you have really, really gotten more overly so into the masculine energy around making money, which both the masculine and feminine are needed and necessary for anything, including manifesting money into your life. But I feel like you've swung way far off to that side of the spectrum into tons of action, tons of trying to make things happen, so much so that there's impatience and you're moving too quickly. And, but also putting up the walls of like, I'm doing it all myself. Like, I'm a lone wolf and I can't rely on anyone but me. And if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. I feel a lot of that energy, those stories coming up for you. So those things are really things to slow down and to heal within yourself, in the next little bit here, the next few weeks is what I'm hearing. All right, now for our last card that we pulled off of this deck, and then we'll get some others in here. We have the leader card. This card also came up, oh my goodness, in the last reading I did here on this channel. So again, I'm curious if anyone from that reading came to this pile and if it's resonating with you. So with the leader card, this card is all about embodying the energy of being the one who is in control of your money. And this card was pulled with this prosperous overflow card, which is where I was telling you all about, have a plan for the money, be ready for the money. You need to be ready to direct money, right? Like, in order for the money's coming regardless. I'm going to tell you this. As long as you slow down and heal some stories, the money's coming regardless. But if you actually want to hold the money, you want to sustain that level of wealth, you're going to need to ready yourself to do so. You need to become the version of you who knows exactly what they do with that money, who knows they're capable of holding it and of handling it, and of not overspending it or not really utilizing it to its full potential, or, giving it away thoughtlessly, and then all of a sudden now you're back to zero. So really making sure that you are taking time to become, not just plan what you're going to do with the money, but also this card is now telling me energetically embody the version of you who has the money you desire and who is so comfortable holding it. Because the leader card tells us it's so much about, you need to understand that money follows your lead. That's what this card tells us. Money follows your lead. So if you are frantically trying to make it and you feel like there's never enough of it and there's no time to make it, then that's how money will respond to you. And if you slow down enough, which is what you're being asked to do here in this reading, and allow the money to catch up with you, heal the things that are telling you it's not safe to slow down, and heal these past relationships and stories with money and with other people, and give yourself a little bit more to helping other people. And once you do that, the money's going to come in, and you need to be ready to be the person. You need to really be fully embodied in this energy of, I am the person who money comes to me easily. I am the person who money comes to me when I slow down, when I rest just a bit, when I have a little bit more balance in my life. I am the version of me. I am the person who, of course, has X amount of money in the bank, and of course can manage that money and hold that money, and knows that there's always going to be more and allows it to support her. You have to show money how to behave. You have to be the leader with money. So we have I think these beautiful, the way the cards pulled, this always happens, so it shouldn't be surprised, but we have, the main block here of, you got to slow down. You're moving too fast. You're impatient around money, and that impatience is blocking the money you want. And then we need to heal the stories that tell us we cannot slow down. We need to heal the stories around it's not safe to help other people or have to go it alone, and focus more on opening ourselves up to helping other people. That's going to all allow us to slow down and come into alignment with the money that's trying to come to us. And once that's unlocked, it's like in order to be ready to hold it and sustain that wealth, you need to ready yourself for it. You need to have a plan for it. And you need to be in the energy of being wealthy now. This is so much of what we work on inside of the Wealthify membership, which is my monthly low-cost membership. The link for that is in the description if you want to check that out. But that's all about embodying the version of you who has the wealth you desire and normalizing that. And we do different techniques to help you do that. And there are different challenges every month with different spiritual modalities. So you can definitely check that out. But this is so key. And again, it's like I'm getting this, which is like this overwhelming almost amount of money is coming to you because you've been working so hard to make it happen. You've been taking so many actions. You've been doing so much. I'm getting for the last couple of years here. And the money, it's like I see this wave almost cresting over you, like it's about to crash onto you. The money is coming, but it can be overwhelming if you're not ready for it. So getting ready with a plan and also energetically. So asking yourself, what does the version of me who has this level of wealth I'm trying to manifest and it's coming to me, what does that version of me, what does that version of me do every day? What are their thoughts? What's their energy like? What's their relationship with money? What are their actions they're doing each day? And how can I bring myself a little bit more into alignment with that each day? If you struggle with that, I also have a free resource called Financial Frequency, which covers how to identify the thoughts, energy, and actions of your next level wealthy version of you and bring yourself into alignment with them. So I will link that above for you as well so that you can check that out if you want to kind of dive deep into that and really be able to embody that here. Because that's just something that you're really being asked to do in order to hold the money. It's almost like I'm getting like, here's what we need to do to allow the money in. And you're almost getting a whole different reading over here of here's what you need to do to hold the money when it comes in. This wasn't intended to be part of the reading. It's just the message that's coming through for you. So definitely take note of that. We are now going to pull some other cards from another Oracle deck. I have the Love Who You Are Oracle deck here. So we're going to pull a couple more cards for you from it. Ooh, this one's come out. This one. And this one. Okay. All right, so right here we have the Mind Your Monkey Business. All right, this card, what I'm hearing with the Mind Your Monkey Business card is really about paying attention to really looking at your side of the street. So again, what I said about competition, this seems to be the message coming through, is don't let yourself get caught up in believing that there is such a thing as competition, right? Mind your own business. So stop worrying about what other people are doing or even what they think about you or what you think they want from you. That's another thing that's coming through is be yourself, be you. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. It's like, just do you. That's the message that just keeps coming through. Just do you. That's it. Just do you. It gets to be that simple. Do you and help the people you're called to help in the way that feels good to you. Make sure you're open and receptive to helping other people, but don't become so attached to other people's business, either in the competitive sense or in the I need to help this person. If I can't help them, then I'm a failure, right? That's just another way we can swing too far in the other direction. So really making sure that you're in your own world. You're minding your business. You are doing your thing. You are healing your blocks. You're slowing down. You're still taking actions, but you're pulling back just a little bit. You're making your plans for the future. You're getting acclimated to that energy, but keeping yourself open to helping other people and having other people help you. But pull back from all that competition. Release that. There was a beautiful quote I read, and it was The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And I've been reading this book this month as part of the Wealthify membership. We have our monthly book club, and that's the book we're reading this month in there. And there's a quote in there, something along the lines of, you have to elevate out of competition into creativity. And I feel like that message is for you right now with this card. So if you found yourself looking at other people or worrying about what other people are doing, thinking it has any impact on what you're doing, you need to elevate out of that. That's just a lower vibrational energy that is going to keep you blocked from the money you desire, from the genius and expressing your gifts that you have in this lifetime that no one else can do the way you do. So let go of that. Let go of that. Switch out of competition into creativity. Know your power, right? That's what's coming through here too. Know your power. Don't ever give your power away and say that anyone else and what they do can stop you from the abundance that you want and that you're meant for. No one has that power to do that unless you give them that power. So take your power back. Take your power back from all the different people and situations you were thinking have any control over you or any impact on your finances. They don't. The universe is infinite. It is expansive. There are so many ways money can come to you. And as long as you're slowing down, they will find you. The money will find you. Okay, let's go on to our other card we pulled here. So this is Radiate Gratitude. This to me is just immediately telling me, you have so many butterflies on your cards here too. If butterflies are a symbol for you or a spirit animal for you, this is just more confirmation. This is messages for you. All right, so with radiating gratitude, this just tells me this is just going to be your pathway into really embodying that energy of being the leader of your money, of being that version of you who has all the money you desire, and you know that money follows your command, that you're not waiting on it to feel a certain way. It's really, you're going to find so much of that through gratitude. There's a million ways we can access that version of us, right? And again, in that financial frequency series I linked above earlier, which is free, you'll find that there's so many different ways you can access that and embody that energy. But what I'm getting here is that for you, tuning into gratitude and maybe making a daily gratitude practice, or spending time feeling grateful for the money before it shows up is going to be really, really powerful for you. This is a pretty common practice in manifestation in general. So there are tons of resources out there on really leaning into gratitude and feeling that abundant energy and feeling thankful for it before it manifests in your life. And that makes you such an energetic match for it. That allows it to manifest faster. It allows that manifestation to come for you. It's coming no matter what is what I'm getting over here. Is the money's coming no matter what. Whether you're going to let it in or be able to hold it is a whole nother matter, whether you take heed of what we've said here. But you have so much already to be grateful for. Even around money. It may not feel like it, but I would encourage you to look for the things you already have, all the money you already have, or what money has allowed you to do, or if you have debt, what has that debt allowed you to do? Has it allowed you to pay your bills, have a place to live, travel, whatever it is, start your business, who knows? Have gratitude for what money has done for you so far, and then start bringing that gratitude into the vision you have for the future. So gratitude for what your money is going to do for you moving forward, how you're going to feel when that money comes in, gratitude for the money before it shows up, and spend a little bit of time daydreaming about that each day and being in that state of gratitude for it. That to me feels like what's going to be the easiest pathway for you to start embodying this energy. Also, something here that's just coming up is gratitude for the money going out. I get the sense that this is maybe the hardest thing for you to have gratitude is. And remember when I said earlier that you might have some guilt, some stories around guilt, or around, I didn't work fast enough or I didn't move fast enough, so I missed out on that opportunity or on that amount of money, or I overspent and now I'm paying for that later and I have, interest rates or whatever. So just gratitude, right? I'm seeing, especially what's really jumping out to me is this bee eating, taking from the flower, taking pollen as bees do. And we have to understand that sometimes when money goes out, when things are taken from us, like you're the flower, something's taken from you, it can feel like you're just losing out and you're poorer than you were before. You have less than you had before. But truly, what the bee's doing is a couple different things, right? It might be pollinating, right? It might be doing that sort of stuff, but also you're giving value to the bee. But beyond that, it's going to guide you to where you need to end up, right? Sometimes when things leave us or money goes out or we missed an opportunity, it's actually because it wasn't fully meant for us, and what we want or what's coming for us is so much better than that. And if we had gone down that route or kept that thing or kept that money, we wouldn't be where we are now, which is where you are. Pile 2 is poised to receive so much more abundance than before. So really being grateful for the things that in the past you maybe beat yourself up for, seeing them in a new light, shifting into a different perspective around them. I think that's also going to be very healing for you as well. All right, now we have our last card. Oh, so beautiful. Defy Gravity. I'm going to make sure that you can, here, we'll push this up just a bit so you make sure you can see it. This is such a fun card to see here. And again, another butterfly. I'm not sure. I know butterflies are prevalent in this deck, but they're everywhere right now for you, whatever that means to you. So honestly, butterflies are transformation as well. Possibly a lot of transformation for you with this. Oh my gosh, butterflies on our healer card too. is a very butterfly heavy reading for you, my love. I think this is all honestly as you step into this and slow down, heal what needs to be healed, especially stories with other people, open yourself to helping other people, not going it alone, getting familiar with the energy and the management of your money, of having all that money you desire, having gratitude for it, minding your own business. As you do all this, this is naturally going to be a huge transformation. The really cool thing, like I've been saying throughout this reading, is none of this feels heavy or difficult. And what do we have here? Defy gravity. This is going to be very easy for you to shift, is what I'm getting now with this card. All of this, which is so exciting, because when I do readings like this where there's so much going on, honestly, and there's so much guidance coming through for you, and it's like, oh, address this, fix this, heal this, but like, that can feel overwhelming, and you're like, oh my gosh, can't I just do one thing? I want to tell you it's going to be so easy for you, and it really starts here. It starts with this Breath of Abundance cards. It starts with just slow down. Take your foot off the gas just a little bit, pile 2. In doing so, reflect on what needs to be healed, open yourself up to other people, get out of competition into creativity, and then start daydreaming about, what am I going to do with all this money? How's that going to feel? I'm so grateful for that money. I'm grateful for this future experience I'm going to have. I'm grateful for where I am now and what's led me here. This is going to be easy for you to do. This work, it's funny because normally this sort of stuff is hard for people to do. This is usually hard. I feel like you are in a season of life right now, whenever you're watching this, where you're ready to do this. I feel like you've maybe been doing a lot of this work, and maybe throughout this reading you've been like, Taylor, I've been doing all this. When's it going to start working? So soon, my love. That's what's coming through. Is this is so easy. It feels like you're ready for this switch to flip, and you're ready for the floodgates of abundance to open up to you. You're ready for that prosperous overflow. You're ready for it to come in and be easy. All of this transformation is going to be really light and effortless for you if you just give it a little bit of conscious attention over the next few weeks. Honestly, things will start to shift. And also beyond that, what you're going to be doing moving forward as you open yourself up to all this and remove this block is you're going to start to see that money operates a little bit differently for you than it does most other people. It's going to be easy for you. It's going to be effortless for you. People are going to look at you and be like, how do you do that? How do you do that? How is it so easy for you? Why is it so effortless for you? Why is money so easy for you? You're going to become one of those people that people look at and say, how is money so easy for them? And it's almost a little unfair, right? But if you keep your heart open, people aren't going to have malice for you, right? If you share your secrets to it, if you share your insights, if you help other people. And this isn't being a martyr, it's just helping where it feels easy to and how it feels easy to. And you know everyone can win and there's no competition. People are just they're going to celebrate you, and you're going to be a source of inspiration for people in whatever you achieve and however you achieve your financial goals. So it's going to feel effortless, even though, yes, of course, as you know, because you're living this life, maybe all the things you've done to get to this point where it now gets to be easy around money, that was not easy to get here. So it's not like it's just so unfairly easy for you. You've done the work, is what I'm getting. You've done the work. You've done the inner work. You've definitely done the physical work and all the actions of taking all the things to make money happen. Now it's about reaping the rewards by allowing them to come in, by healing the things that say that they can't, or that you can't allow it to be easy for you, that money doesn't get to be easy for you. You're going to start to see money become a lot more effortless if you take into account all the different pieces of guidance in this reading. So that's, what a beautiful way to end this reading, pile 2, with, oh my gosh, so much ease, so much abundance coming to you, and it's going to be so effortless. It's going to be so easy. Even just the inner work you need to do to get there. So easy once you just give it a little bit of attention. So my guidance for you, my last bit of advice here is to take some time either today or tomorrow to slow down a bit, take even just half an hour or an hour, right? And journal out or reflect on, what needs to be healed, why you don't feel like you can slow down, why are you moving so fast, how do you start getting comfortable with slowing down just a bit? Where are you in competition with others? Take yourself out of that. How do you open yourself to more love and camaraderie in what you do? And then take a few minutes to just get clear on where's the money going to go when it comes in, and how's that going to feel, and who am I going to be, and who do I need to start being now to be ready for this money and to be the leader of my money? And isn't that going to feel so good? And so I'm so grateful for how easy money comes to me, right? Like, also I'm kind of getting the sense of like maybe even create a couple mantras. I will offer you the mantra of money is easy for me to make. Honestly, it's such a simple one, but money comes to me easily. That's the mantra that's coming through for you with this, really. Money comes to me easily. How do you embody that energy? Who are you going to be? How's that version of you who money comes to me easily? How does she act? How does she spend her money? How does she with other people? So that's really the guidance. Take some time. Take some time today, tomorrow, the next day, in the next few days here. And really reflect on these things. If you want more support with the source stuff, this is what we do inside of the Wealth 5 membership. Again, the link for that is below, but I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, be sure to subscribe to my channel for future card readings, meditations, and other spiritual tips and tools for manifesting money. And if you want to grab your own copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, the link for that is in the description below the video. And if you grab your copy before the end of November 2023, when this posts, you will be able to get a huge discount on it. So yeah, that's what I have for you, Pile 2. I'm so excited for you. Please let me know if this resonated with you in the comments. Comment below. Let me know if what we covered here feels right to you. Let me know what comes up for you in your journaling or in your reflection, and how, what the energy is of that next level version of you and how you're stepping into it. I'd love to hear all about it in the comments below and get to connect with you there. Otherwise, I am wishing you massive prosperity and abundance, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. You picked the Storyteller card and the Citrine Crystal. So let's dive into your reading to see what is blocking your money manifestations and how to remove that block. So right off the bat with your Storyteller card, this already, to me, is the main block that we're dealing with here. And that is that you're really, I get the sense that you're stuck in the past around money. And when I say stuck in the past, I mean that you keep telling the story of what has happened to you and believing that this needs to continue to happen this way moving forward. If you're coming from pile 2, this was kind of a theme, not the main block, but a theme in the last pile. So if you had trouble picking between piles 2 and 3, listen to both because they have a theme for you here. So with the Storyteller card, pile 3, really the understanding here, this is kind of a general manifestation principle, a mindset principle. But when it comes to manifesting money or anything else you desire, you have to be willing to tell a new story. If you want something new in your life, you have to tell a new story. So when I say tell a new story, it means you have to be willing to stop looking at what is or what has already happened and letting that dictate what you think is possible for you in the future. Because if you continually look at something and say, oh, you know what, I've never made X amount of money, or I always have X amount of debt, and you keep focusing on the lack or what is or what has been, you will continue to create more of that for yourself. You do this from an energetic standpoint, and that's, that's the energetic frequency you're at. That's the match you are. That's what you're available for. It's what the universe delivers you from a law of attraction standpoint. It's also just strategically and logically, if you keep focusing on that, you're going to keep moving toward it subconsciously and consciously, right? So for example, if you have $5,000 of debt and you're like, I have $5,000 of debt, I have this debt, and you keep looking at it, wanting it to go away and fixating on it, then you're just going to keep sustaining it because you're looking at it. And as Abraham Hicks says, I always love this way of looking at it, is you're looking at it from the energy of the problem and not the energy of the solution. And that's really what I'm getting here with you for this main block. We're going to get a lot more cards out on the table. We're going to get more clarity on how we can move through this block. But the main block that's really holding the money you desire from you right now is this internal block of this stubbornness you have to continue always telling the same story of, I don't have enough, or I have this debt, or money's hard for me, or whatever the story is. You just keep telling the same story of whatever currently is in your financial reality, where you currently are financially, and you keep saying, this is where I am. And realistically, yes, this is where you are in this moment. But anything can happen in a moment. Anything can change. But unless you're telling the story of that, unless you're deciding what you want to be true, what you want to manifest, and telling that story and focusing on that instead of focusing on where you are right now, that maybe doesn't feel so good to you, you're never going to reach that, right? You have to understand that the story you tell, the thoughts you think, and the words you speak have impact on you, on others, on the world around you. So you have to be willing to start telling the story of what you do want. Meaning you have to stop looking at what is and start looking at what you desire. This is so much easier said than done. I completely understand that. We're going to get more clarity and more guidance for you in a moment. But that's really the main block that's coming through. And it's a good news, bad news sort of situation, right? Like, again, and this has kind of been the theme with all of the piles this month, but especially for you, this is all within your control, right? There is nothing outside of you blocking you. There is nothing, there's not even, I don't even get the sense that there's like a lot of shadows you need to clear or any, potential money trauma that could still exist, but that's not the message that is coming through right now for you of what you need to heal. What really needs to shift is just, you're stuck in a loop. You're stuck in a loop. And so let me know if this resonates with you, pile 3, in the comments, but I feel like a lot of you watching this are probably feeling like you've been in a state where you're just feeling like you're just stuck. You can't stop fixating on what currently is. You can't, even if you know better, even if you have been doing mindset work for a while or inner work or going to therapy, but you just like can't stop fixating on what is. And you probably should be, visualizing or embodying what you desire and all the money and wealth you want, but you're having a really hard time actually detaching from the current story and stop, you're struggling to remove your attention from it and instead put your attention where you want your life to go. It's like when you're driving a car and if you're looking straight ahead, you'll go straight ahead. If you look off to the side of the road to look at something, you'll start to veer toward it without even realizing to or meaning to. So it's almost like what I'm getting is that you kind of know what you need to be doing to manifest more money. And it's, holding the vision, living in that state of the wish fulfilled, embodying what you desire, being that energetic match for it, keeping your eyes on the prize, really. You know what you need to be doing, and that's what it is keeping your eyes on the prize, but you are struggling to do so, even though you know better. That's what I'm getting coming through for you. Let me know if that resonates. If not, maybe it's more of a subconscious thing right now, and this is what you need to bring your awareness to, is where do you keep looking at what is and saying, well, I only have X amount of money right now, so I'm not going to have X amount of money by this time next year. You don't know that, right? Because again, anything can change in an instant. At any moment, something can happen. Someone can reach out to you. You can win something, right? Like a million things could happen at any moment. But the reason nothing's changing your financial reality, the reason your money situation isn't shifting right now, is because you keep telling the same story of what is. So that's what you keep creating. So this is the major block that you have right now. That source is really telling me this is what you need to work on. This is what needs to be cleared in order for the money you desire to come to you. So let's get a little bit more clarity on that with some more cards from the deck. We're going to pull those for you now. What does pile 3 need here? Ho. Almost came out there. This one here. Okay. So we have your cards here. Let's take a look at them. So here we have our Metamorphosis card. So the Metamorphosis card, as the name suggests, is all about transformation. We have our butterflies. You also have a butterfly here on the shoulder of the storyteller. Again, if pile 2 called to you, we had a lot of butterflies in that reading, then definitely watch that pile as well, because I think there's some guidance for you there as well if you haven't already watched it. So this is really what I'm getting is you're just being asked to change. You're being asked to change. Hardest thing to do, I get it, but it's anything. If you want change in your financial reality, you have to change. Now, when we talk about change in this sense, it's changing the story, right? So simple. Change the story you're telling. Change storytelling. But in doing so, you are going to have to change. There are some things about you that you're going to have to change. It's going to be an inner game, but you're ready for it. Especially when I see the butterflies on both of the cards here. And the energy that's coming through is you're ready for this transformation. You're ready to make this change. You're probably even a little bit fed up with yourself, which, by the way, stop beating yourself up, right? Transformation is a process. It doesn't happen always in an instant. When we think about the butterfly and how it goes in its cocoon and the chrysalis, it's like that takes a while. So you've been in a season of being stuck, but also you've I get the sense that under the surface you've been transforming, you've been working at it. It just you haven't seen the outward effects of it yet. So you're on the right path is what I'm getting. You've been doing some of this work. Now is just the time it's like you're on the home stretch. So just bring it home. Stick with the work. I get the sense that maybe you've been feeling kind of discouraged in like all the inner work you're doing or any changes you've made in the way that you're approaching money or your career haven't felt like they're panning out. And so you're getting you're almost at this point of like, I'm going to give up this isn't working, this manifestation work isn't working, or this, maybe the therapy isn't working, or maybe the coaching isn't working, or maybe my business isn't working, or whatever. And maybe I should just throw in the towel. Source is telling you right now, like, don't, you're so close to what you desire, but you got to keep going a little more. There's just a little bit more transformation that needs to happen, the final step of it, for you to be able to call in the money you desire. But you have to commit to that. You have to really commit to this last little change of shifting whatever it is that's stopping you from being able to tell the story you want, being able to focus on what you want in your life and commit to it and live from that state and live in the state of that fulfilled, in that, what we call like the delusion of having what you already desire, feeling abundant, being abundant before the money shows up, right? You have to be open to things shifting, believe things can shift, telling the story of things shifting and changing for you. And to do that, you're probably going to have to heal some stuff. You're going to have to just transform a little bit more, just a little bit more, right? That's really what I'm getting coming through. We'll get some more clarity on this in a moment. But let's see what other card we have here for you on the other end of the spectrum. We have the Artisan card. This one came up in pile 1. We have a lot of mirror energy for people right now reading this. So the Artisan card. This really tells me a little bit more about what you need to do to be able to tell the story you want to tell. With the Artisan card, this is all about detaching from money and detaching your value from money, or detaching from money as a metric for success, and instead start seeing money as a tool to help you get to where you want to go. So to me, it seems like you're probably stuck in telling the story that, like your money measures your success. You've probably been telling yourself for a while the same story of, I only have X amount of money, or I only earned this amount, or I only have climbed so far in my career, and so therefore I'm not successful, or therefore I'm not powerful, therefore I can't get to where I want, it'll never happen for me. You have to be willing to lay that story down and instead pick up a new story of I'm on my way, anything can happen at any moment, I'm continually changing and transforming, so the money gets to come in different ways and in new ways and in quicker ways than it's ever happened before. And I believe that. And honestly, having some mantras around those kind of lines might help you. Something like, money comes to me easily. Money is continually flowing to me in greater and greater amounts. I am always changing, so my income stream is always changing. I'm always increasing or improving myself, and therefore my finances are exponentially always improving. Things like that, having those mantras and really letting that become your new narrative, your new story, is really going to help you. And not, do you see how all of those mantras, none of them are like, I am so successful because I have so much money, or I make so much money and I'm so successful, right? Like that, to me right now, that's not going to serve you. Using money as a metric for your success is possibly a story that's been keeping you stuck exactly where you are. So stop measuring your success by the amount of money you do or do not have, or what you currently earn or do not earn, or how far you've come or not come in your career. Stop using any of that to measure what is possible for you and to measure your worth and your value and your success. Cut it out, right? Like drop that. That's what Source is saying. Source is really saying it's time to transform that story. It's time to change that story into a more positive one. It's time to start talking about, also what's coming through is how supported you are by money, right? Start telling that story. Money supports me. Money loves to support me. Money loves to bring me all the things I desire. Money allows me to be my best self, right? Like telling those sorts of stories. Again, for me, affirmations, mantras, things like that are really helpful if you want to do tapping or journaling on these things, whatever you need to do to lock in new beliefs, new stories that you tell yourself and others about money and how it works for you and how it comes to you and the fact that it is coming to you. So those are the kind of the key things. So to kind of sum up so far, main block is the stories you're telling yourself and what you're focusing on, and saying this, what is all that can be, or it determines what comes next for me. Not true, right? So shifting that into you're limitless, anything can come to you at any time. As you do that, you're probably gonna have to shift who you're being a little bit. It's just gonna require this change. It's just kind of confirmation, change of stories, change your stories. And really this gives us a little bit more clarity of change your stories from one of around money, from one of like money determines my success or is tied to my success in some way, to money is a tool, money supports me, money comes to me. The more I change and the more I shift, right? Like detach yourself from money and make money work for you in your stories, if that makes sense. So that's what we have so far. Let's get some more clarity on these cards here for you. All right, so the next card that we had for you is our Fortress of Protection card. So, pile 3, you've really closed yourself off to all the possibility, haven't you? Like, you have really, I get the sense of hopelessness a little bit. The sense of either hopelessness in, the money and the life I want will never happen for me, or hopelessness at your ability to have money the way you want to, right? Or to have not just the amounts, but have it come in the way you want, like this kind of resignation to, I'm going to always have to hustle or do things I don't like or have this job I hate in order to make the money I want, or I'll never get there, or it's not going to happen for me this year, because right now is the time of recording this. This is, of course, timeless, but we're nearing the end of the year. So if you're watching this when it first goes up, this isn't going to happen for me this year. You're kind of, again, it's just this sense of, like I said, this kind of, I get the sense you've felt stuck and a little frustrated and like giving up. It's just that feeling of giving up is really what's coming up on this side of the reading here for you. And Source is really saying, don't give up. You're so close. You are so close, pile 3. I can feel like so much abundance just waiting. It's waiting. It's just sitting calmly waiting for you. If you're in pile 2, we had more of the theme of like, it's coming to you. It's going to crash over you. It's just waiting. It's very calm. The abundance you desire, the energy and the frequency of the money you want, it's very calm. It's so close. It's so available to you. You're just not accessing it. You're not tapping into it. It's ready for you to tap into it. But to do it, you have to take down your walls. You have to take down your walls. You have to take down the story of hopelessness that you have, this story of resigning yourself to it not happening for you, or it not happening for you when you want or in the way you desire. You have to be persistent in your belief. You have to be persistent in the new stories, in your vision of what you want. You have to be persistent in telling those stories. You have to persist in the belief that it can happen for you. So really a lot of what I'm seeing here now with this card in this whole reading is doubling down on your commitment to your vision. Doubling down to holding the belief that you can have what you desire. Doubling down on telling the story of what you want. So maybe I also get the sense that maybe, like I said earlier in this reading, I was sensing that you'd been doing a lot of the inner work. You'd been doing a lot of the things you know you should be doing, but you feel like giving up. What I'm hearing now is you've probably been doing, especially if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you've been doing some sort of money manifestation work for a little while now, and you haven't been seeing the fruits of it. You haven't been seeing the actual manifestation. And you feel like kind of giving up on it. And maybe you were doing affirmations for a while, and then now you've kind of slackened on them. Maybe you were doing visualizations every day, or sats, or, whatever techniques you use. I get the sense you were doing them for a little while. You were committing to things, or you had an idea of what you're supposed to do, and then you just didn't keep up with it, or you're kind of about to let go of that practice, and Source is saying keep going. So if you are someone who you had like a really solid morning routine that helped you manifest abundance, or you had some sort of practice you were doing or ritual, daily or weekly, that was really helping you to feel more abundant and to feel like the stories you desired were possible for you, and you had that going for the last several months or years even, and you've just kind of thrown in the towel recently, or started to kind of half-ass it, or become a little less dedicated to it. Source is saying recommit. This is the time to recommit yourself to what you were doing. It was working. It's so close. You've just put up your walls. You've closed yourself off to it. You believe that it won't happen for you. It can't happen for you. You've started looking at what is and what instead of what could be. And that's what needs to shift. And the moment you do that, things will start to work for you, but you have to recommit. I get the sense that you need to recommit for like just a week or two. And of course, that doesn't mean that all the abundance will just magically appear. It's like the first time you recommit to whatever, money practices you were doing. But I do get the sense that pretty quickly, like within a week or two, you'll start to see signs of it shifting. And it'll probably be, again, like I said, like it'll come in signs. You'll start to see little pieces of evidence that your practice is working and that the abundance you desire is coming. So be a little patient with that, but then, and keep committing, keep going with whatever practices you have. and then the money's going to come in. It's almost like you got so close to the finish line, pile 3. You got so close to your desires. And then at the last minute, you just pulled back because you didn't realize you were so close to the finish line. So you just have to recommit and just get back to what was working for you, back to what helped you feel good, back to your practices, back to what you already kind of intuitively or subconsciously know you need to be doing. And really doubling down on that. That's what's coming up for us here. Because otherwise I get the sense you've just really closed yourself off to the possibilities of what you desire coming to you, of the money you want coming in. That's what I'm seeing here. Yeah. Okay. Let's get our next card here. Okay. So we have our Radiant Abundance card. You know what? I need to change out my battery real quick because it is about to die. I will be right back if the camera angle changes at all. That is why. One moment. All right. Sorry about that. We are back. We've got a fresh battery so we can keep rocking and rolling with this reading. So with our Radiant Abundance card that we just pulled, this card is all about understanding that you are one with the universe, and at any moment you can choose to feel wealthy and allow that feeling to radiate out from you. And when you do that you become a beacon for the abundance you desire. You become an energetic match for the universe, sees you light up in that way, and brings all the abundance you desire to you. And how I really see this playing so perfectly with the rest of the cards we have on the table for you so far is I see this as being further confirmation that all you need to do is detach from the old stories around how money is a marker of your success or anything like that, and instead allow yourself to feel wealthy. Like really stop waiting for the money to come in before you feel wealthy. This is so much of what we do in my Wealth Find membership, where it's just so much embodying of the version of you who has all the money you desire in order to speed that up. And we do it through different spiritual modalities. But this is so key to really being able to bring the money you desire to you faster, is become the energy of wealth. You are one with the universe, my love. You are part of the whole. We are all connected. We are all from this earth and from this universe. We all emerge from it. We are all part of it. We cannot escape it. So you are part of all that is. And all that is includes abundance, includes wealth, includes money, includes any form of riches. And so since you are one with it, there is no separation from it. Yes, maybe in this moment you do not have all the abundance that you desire, but you are still a part of the world where that abundance exists. And in order to call it to you, you need to tap into that. So this gets a little esoteric. This gets a little bit mind-bending at times. But I don't always feel called to read directly from the guidebook for these cards. I channeled, these are, my cards that I created, so I channeled the meaning of all these. I know them very well. But I do feel the pull to read. I feel like there's a line in the guidebook that you need to hear. So let's take a peek. Okay. Yes. Here's what you need to hear. Oh, and this fits in so perfectly with what we were talking about before too. Become what you desire. That's the gist of this card. The biggest illusion that separates us from the wealth we desire is the belief that we are separate from it. Abundance is always available to you and can appear in more ways than you can anticipate. But the more you focus on not having it, the more you act like you don't have it, which leads to creating more lack in your life. Does that sound familiar from this first part of our stories? If you keep telling the story of what you don't have and focusing on it, and so then you keep creating that for yourself. The great secret to creating wild abundance in your life is this: you must become the living embodiment of the abundance you seek. This card indicates that it's time to lean more into being the person who has abundance before the abundance has materialized in your life. How will you feel when you receive the money you desire? Can you feel that way now? How will you move through the world when you have all the abundance you can imagine? Can you navigate the world that way now, even if just in small ways? Become the essence of abundance. Allow it to flood into every cell of your being and radiate out from you. In doing so, you make it easier for abundance to find its way to you faster than ever before. So this is really, I think, going to help you detach your self-worth from money, detach from money as a marker of your success, but asking yourself more of, again, these have so many similar themes to pile 2. So I feel like a lot of you are going to have similar, messages that you need to hear in different ways from those two piles, from pile 2 and this reading in pile 3. But with this radiant abundance, it's time to stop telling those stories. It's time to start fixating on them and stop identifying really with the stories of what is. Stop being, this is something that we so commonly do as humans in our linear experience of time in our lives, is we look at where we are right now and we tell the story, right, of this is who I am. We use what we have achieved right now, or what we have or don't have right now, or where we are in life right now in this moment, to define who we are and to create these labels for ourselves so that we can kind of know where we are in this point in our lives and who we are. And our ego likes to feel secure in having an identity, right? And so we form our identity out of where we are right now and what has happened so far. But the way that we create the life we want is by assuming the identity of the person who has what we desire, of the future version of us who has what we desire. And so sometimes the fastest way to do that is by just tapping into the version of you who has all the money you desire and becoming that person now before the money shows up, and feeling abundant before the money shows up. I have a whole free program on it. I think, again, I mentioned this in pile 2, but called Financial Frequency, which I will link above for you in a card, that walks you through how to tap into that next level version of you and bring yourself more into alignment with the thoughts and energy and actions of that wealthy version of you, which is so much of what this card is. But what jumps out to me too is when we talk about how do you feel like the next level version of you, how would you feel when you have all the money you desire? Like I just read from the card description for you. That is something that is so key, but I want to clarify something here for you because people misinterpret this. When we say feel, I don't necessarily mean emotions. And for those of you who are interested in human design, who know human design, if you don't, you can just disregard this part, or you can go dive into my archives. I'll link a video above what human design is, but this is a modality I am specially trained in. But with human design, only half of us are meant to use our emotions to manifest the wealth we desire. The other half of us are meant to more follow our emotions and flow with them to manifest the money we desire. So I want to reiterate that here. Again, I have a video above that explains all of that. And if you're interested in learning about where that is in your human design chart, that's above for you in the card right now. But what I want to be clear on here is that I am not asking you, and Source is not guiding you, to force yourself to feel happy or excited when you don't, right? That only works, again, for half of people. What I'm saying here is, how can you just be the embodiment of wealth in each month? How can you feel wealthy? Because feeling wealthy is very different from feeling the emotions you'll feel when you have the wealth you desire. That's a subtle difference, but an important one to be aware of. So really just understanding that you might want to take a little bit of time to just get clear on, what does wealth feel like in my body on an energetic level? Like if you sit down and you take a moment and you feel, where do I feel wealth in my body? And when I imagine having all the money I desire, how does the feeling of having that money, where does that show up in my body? Or what does that feel like to me when I imagine it? Not necessarily emotionally, though there might be some emotions attached to it, but just how does it feel to hold the energy of wealth in your body and then let it radiate out from you, like we see in this card here? How does that feel? And if you want some meditations to guide you do that in the way you're designed to do so, human design wise, I have free meditations. They're in, again, that video that I linked that talks about your human design and how you use your emotions to manifest money, how you're designed to. And then, of course, we're doing a whole challenge on this actually next month, December of 2023, inside of the Wealth Find membership. So if that calls to you, definitely go check that out. That's in the link in the description. So really, this to me feels like it kind of unlocks the rest for you, is when you start really getting clear on what the energy of wealth feels like in your body, what it feels like energetically to hold the frequency of wealth in your body. When you start to do that, it's going to be so much easier to see money as a tool, to detach from it. It's going to be so much easier to shift your stories, to bring down your walls, to not give up, to be able to recommit to your practices, to your manifestation techniques that you know are working and you know are the right thing for you to do. It's going to be so much easier for you to do that. And all of that's going to allow you to really move through this block and start telling that new story, the story of what you want instead of what is or what isn't happening right now. Oh, so beautiful. This to me, so far, we're going to bring a couple more cards in from another deck here just to round out your reading. But oh my gosh, pile 3. This feels like an era of empowerment for you that you are stepping into as you watch this reading. I get the sense that the next year for you, the next 12-ish months, are going to be a journey to reclaiming your power around money, right? I feel a lot of empowerment from these cards. I feel a lot of... Pile 2 had a lot of softness. You have some of that, some softening with these walls coming down from the Fortress of Protection, but I feel, ooh, so much power. I feel a lot of empowerment. I have the sense that if you do this stuff, if you start to, honestly, this is where I recommend starting with your reading, is identify what stories you're telling right now that aren't serving you. Identify the stories you want to be telling instead around money. And then work on figuring out, what does the energy of wealth feel like when you hold it? What does that feel like to hold? This is probably something, again, that we're going to be doing inside of the Wealth Vibe membership for our challenge next month. So if you want help with that, definitely come join us. But figure out, what does it feel like to hold the frequency of wealth for you? What does that feel like? It's a frequency, not what does $10,000 or $1 million feel like. What does wealth feel like? What does abundance feel like on an energetic level? Figuring that out, holding that for a while, using whatever practices you need to do that, committing to those practices, that is going to help you start to see money as a tool, start to really leverage it and your skills toward it the best you can, start to change your stories, and really move through this block and just open up and tap into the money that's already waiting for you, really, that you're so close to receiving. So that feels really, really empowering as you step into your power, into that wealthy version of you, and radiate it out. Oh, everything unlocks for you, pile 3. Everything unlocks. It's all right there. I don't feel like it's going to take all that long, again, like I said, to see some of that start to trickle in, and then as you stick with it, it gets to continue to roll in bigger and bigger amounts, and it's all just waiting for you. It's just waiting for you. All right, now we're going to pick a couple more cards from another deck. This is the, oh, hello. This is the Love Who You Are deck, which I have been loving lately. One of my newer decks. Ooh, there are your cards. Okay, ooh. Oh my gosh. Pile 3. All right. We had some more flip over. I was going to pull 3. You have 6 cards here. All right. Well, let's dive into them. We're going to set these 3 aside over here. Let's get these cards going here for you. So the first one we have over here is Become an Alchemist. Oh, what did I say about change and transformation? Become an alchemist. Change your story. Alchemize your story, right? This is the guidance of this card, is even though I'm asking you, and what this guidance here in this reading is all about for you, is changing the story that you're telling, right? Stop focusing on what is, start telling a story of what you want to be, to call it into your life, and stick to it and commit to it and persist in it. There might be an element of you might already have parts of the story already that just need to be alchemized. Like it's like a change in perspective, really. Like, I know we've had that word thrown around elsewhere in this reading. So change your perspective, alchemize any of the negative stories. They don't necessarily need to disappear. They need to be shifted, right? So maybe you have a story. Maybe you have a story of, I make a lot of money. Maybe it just needs the tweak of I make a lot of money by doing what I love, right? Or whatever it is. So take whatever story you have, see if any of the stories you're currently telling, maybe even watch this reading, you're like, I feel like I'm telling the stories I want. Why are they working? Maybe it's just they just need a slight tweak. They need a slight upgrade or change. Maybe you've had more clarity recently around how you want money to flow to you, or what you want your financial reality to look like, or your financial goals have shifted a little bit, and your stories just haven't been shifted to match that, right? What you're telling yourself, what you're focusing on, what the state you're living from hasn't been shifted to match the clarity you now have that maybe you didn't have a little while ago. So you might need to just get rid of some stories altogether, completely shift them, but this tells me that some of them might just need like a little tweak. Like, again, remember when I said I felt like you were so close? You were so close. I think it's maybe just your stories that you're telling just need a little tweak. All right. We have another card for you, which is Harvest the Honey. Oh my gosh. Pile 3. What a synchronistic reading. So with Harvest the Honey, this is all about claiming what's good in life, letting what's good come to you, right? Like harvest. It's, what did I say? The abundance you want, it's waiting for you. It's available. I see it like a calm pool of water, and it's just like right next door to you. It's right next door. You just have to go tap into it. You just need to access it. You just need to take your walls down, tell your different stories, take what's yours, recommit to those practices, right? That's going to radiate that energy of wealth with whatever practices work for you. Recommit to that. And then you can just take what's good. You can reap the rewards. You can harvest the bounty. You can harvest the honey, harvest what's sweet in life. So there's just, we had a bee on our card in this position in pile 2. I really think you need to hear the pile 2 message if you haven't already. But yeah, it's all available for you. It's a simple, clean message coming through. It's all available for you. It's all waiting. You simply have to harvest it. And you do that with all the guidance we've given you so far here. More bees for you. Bees and butterflies today. So this is all about this follow your bliss card, right? Go toward what you want. Go toward, Source is really saying, stop trying to make money in a way that doesn't feel good to you. Stop trying. I feel like maybe there's some of the old stories you're telling or the old habits you're holding that don't feel good anymore. They don't feel good. They don't serve you. And again, with this alchemy card, I'm kind of thinking that you are, you're holding on to old stories that don't serve you. You are holding on to stories that used to serve you. It's not that they were always negative, but they used to serve you, and their time has expired. They're done. And you need to let them go. You need to change them. You need to upgrade them, tweak the stories you're telling to match your new vision, your new clarity, your new direction. Really what's coming through here for me is this. It almost seems like the story you need to tell if I'm going to give you a specific story. So take this or leave it, because I don't typically get this specific guidance, but it's coming through right now, so I want to share it with you. The story you need to be telling is more one of, the more I follow what I love to do, the more I follow my intuition, my inner guidance, the more I follow what feels right to me, and less of what I think I should do, the more money comes to me, right? So the more I follow what feels good to me, the more money comes to me. I think that's, if you want a specific story to tell and you're like, I don't know what story to be telling, that would be the story I would give you based on this entire reading, and especially with this card. We have a couple more cards left for you, which normally I would wrap here, but they came out. We're going to see what they say. But that's really the big guidance that I'm seeing for you there, is tell that story if that feels good to you. If not, leave it and just keep letting your guidance guide you, your inner guidance, what feels right to you, guide you on what the next steps are and how you go about making money in your life. But yeah, really trusting that inner guidance, trusting in what feels good to you. All right, let's see what other cards we have for you here. We have Sing Your Own Song. I'm going to put all these feel like they're coming down all at once. Become a Wonder Hunter. And Stand Tall. Okay, so what I see here is the more as you start to radiate the sense of wealth that you're being called to tap into and hold the frequency and energy of money, you're going to unlock this natural sense of wonder. You're going to want to explore new things. You're going to be led down the path to things that feel good. And I see you honestly going really off the beaten path. Oh my gosh, pile 3. And really standing tall in it and feeling like you've fully arrived and fully grown into your power. What did I say earlier about full empowerment? Yeah, wow, okay. I see why this guidance had to come through for you. Those of you who, we have another butterfly here. Those of you who, I would not be surprised, right? I would not be surprised if there are some of you in this, or many of you in this pile reading, that as you start to hold the energy of wealth and tell new stories of what's possible for you, you are going to very quickly start to go off the beaten path from what you thought you had to do to make money, and probably from what everyone else ever expected you to do to make money. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you start a new business or change niches or industries in your business or do something completely innovative. Oh my gosh, I see so much innovation. I see so much newness. I see you really stepping into your own. Like, as you do follow the guidance we've talked about, recommit to those practices that work for you, hold the energy of wealth, tell the stories that you want to tell, alchemize some of your stories, follow what feels good to you. You're going to not only tap into all the abundance available to you, you're not only going to harvest that honey, you are going to very quickly get a new vision for your life. You're going to get a new vision for your career or what you do with your money. You might go and make a really big impact on the world. Maybe you start some sort of nonprofit or some sort of charity. Maybe you donate to some cause that has this amazing, huge ripple effect. Maybe you start a movement with these resources you have now. Maybe, like I said, you start some sort of revolutionary business or some business that changes the lives of so many people. I see you stepping into such greatness. Oh my gosh, there's so much greatness coming through for me with this tree, and you're standing tall in it. Again, this was a reading of empowerment for you. So there's so much more here than just moving through a money block. I feel like there's a lot of coming into your own here, of empowerment. And this is amazing. These last 3 cards, I'm so glad they came out for you. They all flipped over together in the deck, which often doesn't happen when I'm shuffling. And so they needed to come through for you. And now I see why, because it's like, this is the last piece of the puzzle. Once you do everything underneath these cards, everything we talked about up until this point, things are going to change in ways you can't predict, in ways that you maybe even don't see coming. Like, I think right now you're kind of like, how do I just make a little bit more money? Or how do I get that promotion? How do I, have a different lifestyle? Or how do I leave my day job? But it almost feels like as soon as you hold this energy of wealth and you learn to tell that new story, all of a sudden you are going to get a lot more clarity and a lot more, like a much bigger dream and vision is going to come to you. Like, you might think that you are at a point where you're like, if I just hit this last money manifestation, or if I just hit this next level of wealth, then I'll be set for life and I'll be good and life will be great. That's true. It'll be good. But you are then pretty immediately going to realize a bigger calling you have, a bigger purpose, a bigger vision, a bigger dream or desire you have, and then you're going to start moving toward that. And having that vision, you are going to be so strong in it, so steady in it, you are going to stand so fully into it, and you are going to really come into your power and into your own. And is amazing, and something I was completely not expecting to get with this reading for you. So, oh my goodness, pile 3. This is amazing. This is so exciting. I'm so excited for you. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments how this resonates with you. Let me know if you can feel like you actually, your soul is yearning for more, and you don't have that clarity yet, and you're just kind of like, I'm just focused on this one story. Honestly, focus on the bigger vision. Tell the story of the bigger vision as soon as you see it, right? As soon as you have it. But for now, focus on the way you're going to get to that bigger vision is really learning to sit in the energy of wealth, holding it, and telling your different story, bringing your walls down, allowing that change to happen, changing your stories, alchemizing them. As you do that, once you step into your power that way, not only is more money going to come in, this whole other vision is going to drop in for you, like a download. Like, I see it coming for those of you who have any sort of spirit team that you connect with, or you channel any guidance or any clairsentience, clairvoyancy, any of the clairs. I feel like it's going to drop in like a whoosh, like a moment for you. And it's going to be like this huge revelation as soon as you've changed your story and started to see more money coming in. It's going to happen so fast. Those of you who don't feel like they have that kind of connection with their spirituality or anything like that, it's going to come in a way that's going to be easy for you to digest, and it'll come through very quickly. You'll get some sort of inspiration. You'll be like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm meant to do. I feel like this is honestly a reading about realizing your life's mission or your soul's purpose. And once you unlock some more resources for it, you unlock all of this through telling the different story and embodying wealth. Oh my gosh, pile 3. I am so excited for you. This is a really cool spread right here. This is a really cool reading. I'm loving your cards. All right. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, be sure to subscribe to my channel for future card readings, meditations, and other spiritual tips and tools for manifesting money. And if you want to get some support in really making this huge change, holding that energy of wealth, telling a different story, come join me inside of the Wealth Vibe membership. The link for that is in the description below. And if you want to grab your own copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, the link for that is in the description as well. And if you grab your copy before the end of November, you will be able to get a huge discount on it. Those of you watching later, we periodically run sales, but it is always available for purchase. So go check that out. And otherwise, I am wishing you massive prosperity and abundance. Not that you need it. It is all here for you. I'm so excited for whatever this is right here, these 3 cards. So amazing for you. All right. Goodbye, my pile 3. I will talk to you very soon. Bye.